When I first came up with my slogan, which I've thought of for a very long time, but it became my slogan when I decided to start making these videos, and that is get a grip and then loosen it. When I first came up with that here, I thought, okay, how can I demonstrate what I mean by that? And of course, as I said before, it's a psychological concept, even though it's born out of a physical concept, like holding onto a baseball bat or a tennis racket or a golf club, that kind of thing. But other things too, using your tools, using a torque wrench, or just about anything. And I thought I would make some videos of some very silly little things, including card magic and banjo playing, partly because those are two things that I can do. And they're sort of good for demonstrating this, even though they're kind of ridiculous. Right? Who really cares about that stuff? But it's good for some of this sort of thing. It demonstrates somehow some of this that should be obvious anyway, but why not? It's something sort of entertaining, and that's really a part of the purpose of that. But they say memory experts, memory athletes, they have some very interesting ways of trying to remember things. But one of them that I believe was espoused by Harry Lorraine, who was a grand exponent of card magic from, I think he published Close-Up Card Magic, and maybe it was 1962. It's still an influential book on how to do magic with cards for people who even remember what playing cards are, which kids don't these days. If you try to show them a card trick, they don't even know the names of the cards, and who could blame them? It's not something that's really, socioeconomic time has accelerated so much that we don't sit around playing cards as much as we once did, and many other things that we don't. But Harry Lorraine invented a way of remembering things, and one of them was how to remember people's names, and not just that, remembering all sorts of things. But what he pointed out is you need to make images that go along with certain peg systems for remembering things, and the images that are designed to bring to mind, say, someone's name, the more absurd and preposterous they are, the easier it is to remember. If you have somebody's name, pegged to an image of, say, an elephant going down a snow-covered hill in a tiny little cup and saucer, say, and sliding down out of control and trying to stop itself with its trunk, something like that. I'm making it up as I go along here. But if you had an image like that, you're not likely to forget it. If you have an image like there's a guy named John, and he's sort of like John Henry of the old folk song or something like that, you're not really going to remember it. That your mind is already cluttered up with that kind of image if you're of my generation, for example. But that doesn't help. But the absurdity of it does. Well, there's few things as absurd as card magic and playing the banjo from a certain perspective. So maybe these examples of getting a grip and then loosening it will stick when one thinks of trying to extend those into the abstract class of mental functioning. Let's hope so. But in any case, for your dining and dancing pleasure, as we used to say, here's some little card moves and a little banjo business, and we'll see if it's helpful.